This is Good and Game, a collection of conversations with people living with intention and armed with the courage to make a positive impact in our world. These are heart-centered people from America's heartland. Hey, if this is your first time tapping into Good and Game, thanks for listening. If you're back, that's big time, and I appreciate it. This is a look ahead at what's to come in the Fall 2025 collection of Good and Game. That's right, here at G&G, we release a series of conversations each season. The Summer 2025 collection is out now, is also the first collection here on Good and Game. So if you missed it, make sure you go back and check those out wherever you get your podcast, or you can stream Good and Game on our very own YouTube channel. I hope everyone enjoyed the summer collection. We got some really good feedback, and we're gonna keep this thing going. This fall, the conversation will turn a little bit towards one specific topic. This season, we'll explore the relationship between environmental risk factors and cancer rates in Iowa. We'll bring you information, yes, but more importantly, we're going to do it Good and Game style. We're going to introduce our listeners to the people that are making a difference in this field. This may sound like a very Iowa-centric topic, and it is. But for listeners outside of Iowa, you'll be introduced to some really impressive individuals. And I want to use this intro right now to introduce you to one of those individuals. It was about this time last year that I met Maria Steele for a story that I produced on WHO 13. She had been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and had never smoked a day in her life. In fact, here's a clip from that interview.
What I was reading online was saying 3 to 6 months. If you have a primary lung cancer with brain metastasis, you have 3 to 6 months to live. And I thought, that can't, I'm gonna ask my doctor and see what he says, maybe that's different. And he said, well, you know we don't have a crystal ball, but statistically, you have a year to live. And I thought, that can't be right. I don't feel that bad. I mean, I've seen people with stage 4 lung cancer, you know, they look bad, you know? And he said, well, now, you know, hold on. This means 50% live longer, 50% live less. You're in otherwise good shape. You don't take any meds. I think you'll do better. And so that was 4.5 years ago.
She learned and shared with us that the cause was likely from radon exposure, a naturally occurring gas that is very prevalent in Iowa's soil. Maria is still fighting. And from time to time, we exchange emails. Last year, she shared with me the Iowa Cancer Registry's annual report. And Iowa was at the top of a list that no one wants to be. Iowa is second in the country in cancer rates, and one of only 2 in the US where cases are actually increasing, not decreasing. It was obviously pretty alarming, of course. It feels like everything these days causes cancer. Diet, alcohol consumption, lack of activity, tanning beds, the list goes on and on. And now there is established and growing evidence that exposure to environmental pollution is linked to cancer. Now, what's going on? What's happening in Iowa that's not happening in other states, even other agricultural states? That's the question the Iowa Environmental Council, Iowa Farmers Union, and Harkin Institute are trying to answer. This triad has launched a research project trying to help us understand exactly what's going on. That research that started around this time last year will be presented to the public in November. Until then, here on Good and Game, we're going to meet a lot of people involved in the research and beyond. And here's a look at the Fall 2025 collection that debuts September 29th. Here, Good and Game on the road.
Yeah.
First time we've ever done a setup in front of a John Deere tractor.
First time we've done a podcast in this shop, I'm pretty sure.
I'm ready to rock if you are.
I think so.
Feeling good?
Might as well.
What has brought you joy since we last talked all the way in August of 2024. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So thanks for the question. It's a great question.
Yesterday we went for a walk just down this road right here with my two boys, and I just thinking this is living. This is the way it was intended, to walk down this road and see them throwing rocks into the creek, and that's what I think is why I do it. So
it shows me that the work that we're doing really is the work that matters to a lot of people, and that's really why all of us are doing it, because we do care about people, we care about how the environment affects people, and so it's really exciting and humbling, and it's also a responsibility that we take really seriously too.
And there's absolutely a correlation between the incidence of various types of cancers with the amount of chemicals that are distributed in that part of the environment. So we have a clear association.
How does it hit you when you see, some of the politicians publicly saying, hey, throwing our hands up, we've tried everything that we could possibly try, and we're still at this point?
I kind of smiled when you said that, because I was like, oh my gosh, my dad would never have tolerated that attitude, right? Like, you go out there and you keep trying, you try again, it didn't work, you try something else. And there are powerful forces here that are at work that are keeping us locked in a status quo. It doesn't have to always be this way. It's not the only way.
What's like the one thing or a couple things that needs to happen in the state of Iowa to make sure that we're all doing this for the greater good, that we're looking big picture? What needs to happen?
I think those lines of communication need to be open, and people need to know, here's what's happening. At the end of the day, people are good, I want to believe that, and that they will make the right decision towards what's good for others. We're kind of live in a world where it's seems to be kind of self-serving and get ahead at all costs. And it's at the end of the day, if you bring it down to baseline, people want to help other people,